Good morning, friends. Prepared Suburbanite back at you. Well, today it's spring and it's time to get our equipment up and running for the spring season. So I've got a riding lawnmower. I've got the leaf blower, which I'm going to need to help clean out around the garden. And I've got my trusty old Stihl chainsaw, and I got to get them all running today. So stick around. So we're back now after getting everything started. There's a interesting story about that Troy-Bilt lawnmower. It's a pony, so it's the smallest one that they were selling at the time. I was paying, I think, $75 a month back in 2013, the year I retired, and a few years even before that, for a lawn maintenance crew to come in because I was working full-time, traveling all over and all that, and so it was well worth to hire a guy to come in and mow and blow leaves and do all that kind of stuff. And after I retired, I looked at the price of that, and shortly thereafter, the local guy sold his business to one of his senior guys, and his senior guy decided he was going to raise the prices. So I get this notice from him that says, hey, it's going up to $100 a month. Well, that's $1,200 a year, and you don't mow much in January and February, but you can blow some leaves or clean off a driveway, something like that. And I just said, you know, it really isn't worth it. So I stopped and started shopping around for a riding lawnmower that was sort of low cost and all that, and I found it at Lowe's Home Improvement Store, and at the time they were selling Troy-Bilts, and they had a whole bunch of them out there that particular spring, and that was in 2014, so 10 years ago. And so I picked out the one. It was $799, and as an incentive, they threw in a little tow-behind 10 cubic foot trailer, dump trailer, that they just threw in. You had to put it together because it came in a big box, unassembled, but that was no big deal. So it didn't take too awful long to have it pay for itself that first year. And it's been running like a champ ever since. Have replaced the battery twice. I change the oil twice a year, and I always use unleaded premium gas, the kind with no corn in it, and so it starts up pretty much every time. The only trouble I've ever had with it is I had to replace the belts a couple times on the drive for the mower, and had to replace the blades twice, but that's over 10 years, and that's really a very minimal amount of maintenance that you need to do. It's 10 years old. I expect that if I keep going with twice a year oil changes and using the good gas, I think it'll last for at least another 5, if not 10, and we'll have to see how that goes. The leaf blower, which I captured, I think, on film here, that I picked up a year and a half ago from Ace Hardware, and they were running a sale, and I picked it up from them. It's a BG66, so it's not one of their big ones. I didn't want to get a backpack type blower, but I wanted one that was gas powered, because I'm a rogue, I guess, and probably wouldn't do well in California with that. But anyway, picked it up from them. They extended the warranty for 2 extra years if I bought a gallon of their 50-to-1 steel special blend gas, 50-to-1 gas. So I said, yeah, sure, let's do that. So $25 for a gallon of that, and been using that and the chainsaw ever since. And I had to get, once I got the Troy-Bilt started, I ran it around the backyard a little bit just to make sure that everything was working. Filled up checked the air pressure in the tires, got them up to snuff, and ran it around the backyard a little bit, engaged the mower a few times, and it seemed to really work very well, just like it never took anything off. I keep it on in the winter time, so from like the end of November, just before Thanksgiving or so, I'll pull the battery and put it on a battery tender and leave it on the tender until the middle of March, and that's where we are right now. Installed it, hooked it up, and started first time. One confession there, that I forgot to turn the camera on when I first started it up, and so I had to shut it off and started it up, and that's what you see in the video. So with that said, I blew some leaves and took care of a little bit here and there with it, and that's been running like a champ. I haven't had it that long, no problems with it at all, but I'm using the good gas, and that, I think, makes all the difference in the world. My steel chainsaw is an MS-250, and I've had that for probably 6 years now, and it starts up, runs a little rough, it starts a little tough, but once you kind of figure it out what it wants to do, right now it feels like it needs a good tune-up. So new spark plug and all that. I put a new air filter on it, filled it up with chain oil, and put fresh gas in it and all that. And 3 or 4 pulls, and it started right up, and I used it to buck up a dead tree limb that was out back, and that seemed to work pretty good. So I guess the whole thing for me is proper maintenance really does save you a ton of money and frustration over time. And I just think that it's all well worth the investment in time and oil changes and using the right gas to make a big difference. So this is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and this is part of it. I'll see you all on the next video.